Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am John Brown. I'm with the beautiful Leigh, who is going to be playing guitar for this new pedal, which is the WALRUS Audio ERAS.
Yes, it is. It looks good.
It looks really good. And the main thing that I invited Leigh to do this video was our playing styles are radically different. So anyway, Leigh has a completely different playing style to me. And we wanted to see if this pedal was adaptable for multiple different styles. So we're plugged into a Tone King at the back, which is a super clean amp, so we can see exactly what the pedal's doing. So it's a distortion pedal.
Yeah.
Do you ever use distortion?
Not really. I'm more of an overdrive guy by default. Either like an overdrive pedal or an amps overdrive.
Okay, yeah. And do you use a pedal sort of like to boost it when you want to just get that little bit of extra?
Yeah. Like if I'm using a certain amp that's got a bit of breakup, I'll use an overdrive to kick it over the edge. Or if I'm gigging with a clean amp, I'll use the overdrives for my entire sound.
Interesting.
Depending on what setup I'm using.
That always sounds so terrifying to me. I always just like have the amp and then boost it more. And then it gets into that tight territory, which no amp really does very well for the style of music that I'm doing. I can't name one where I've never had to use a boost. But I'm interested to see if this is going to work for both of our styles.
Yes. Yeah, it will be interesting.
So the ERAS has 5 different clipping modes. LED clipping, there's diode clipping. They scoop the mids in one of the modes, and then they make it more rhythmic based for the last mode. But the most important feature about this pedal for me is the blend knob, which should be utilized on a lot more distortion pedals or overdrive pedals.
Yes.
And then, you know, we see it with bass players that they want to blend their signal so they can get a distorted top end and a clean bottom end. But when it comes to guitar, no one really does it.
No, they don't. You're right.
There's the Origin Effects one. The Revival Drive is the main one, and I tried it not too long ago and loved it because I could blend in the amp signal and just have that little bit more while still retaining the big end girth of the amp, which sometimes gets lost when you're boosting amps.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So, should we give it a go?
Let's give it a go.
All right, then. Let's see what the clean sound sounds like. Cool, right?
Sounds really cool, yeah.
You see I was blending between the clean channel and then obviously the pedal, and the moment that you started just blending in slightly, it retained the transient of the instrument with the clean channel and the lovely sort of harmonically rich distortion that is this pedal.
Yeah, because the gain is... Well, actually, the gain's not actually that high, is it, really?
No, the gain is on quarter. At one point, it wasn't full.
Ah, right, okay. Right, that's what I was hearing. I thought there was quite a bit more gain than I would normally use in my own playing.
Would you say that that's still too much?
For me, yes.
Okay.
For my... Like, I'm very much a low gain kind of player.
Let's turn that all the way down. Let's get the blend all the way back up, and I'll give it a shot now.
That's more my kind of wheelhouse when it comes to gain levels.
Yeah, that's pretty low gain.
Yeah. It's quite a different gain structure to what you would normally go for.
You say that, but I actually run significantly less gain.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Than a lot of people realize, and it's because when you boost, you just add volume, rather than actual gain, and then it remains. It keeps the clarity at that point. It doesn't sound like mush.
Yeah.
I think that there is a point where there's too much gain, usually around 9 o'clock on most amps.
What's the gain set to on this? Like,
this is literally turned on.
Right.
So, like, if we had a look at this, it's literally 7 o'clock.
Right.
And the volume's only on half. And one thing to remember is that when you are boosting volume on pedals, it is affecting the gain structure of the amp. So we have to be careful about that as well. But I'd say that actually sounds pretty good to my ears.
Yeah, like I'm more of a bluesy kind of overdrive kind of player, and that is my kind of wheelhouse. But obviously, this thing can do way more.
Should we see what you can do? Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's see if you can feel comfortable with this.
Are we going for? Oh, here we go.
It's really interesting. Even with all of that gain, so I maxed it out, it still had clarity.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those distortions that starts to just like creep into fuzz territory.
Exactly. Yes.
Which is quite fun.
Yes.
It's quite fun.
It does that end of the world thing when you hold out and know where it feels like it's caving in on itself and imploding. Are you into the fuzzes?
I like fuzz for certain things. Like sometimes you just want a lead to go off and be a bit crazy, but I'm not a fuzz on all the time kind of guy. I use it more as I just want one guitar solo in a set that is crazy.
Okay,
and
right.
The rest, I'm happy with like a bluesy overdrive.
That's fair enough. As I say, we both have completely different playing styles, but I'd actually say that actually worked, especially when it was really low gain.
Yeah.
Maybe blended in with a little bit of the clean signal. I could see that working for something that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's pretty awesome. That distortion pedal can still work for the blues thing, and you know we see this a lot throughout the years. Like bands like Biffy Clyro come to mind by using a pedal that is completely outside of what they play, and it's the metal zone. Of all pedals, you know. So
especially pairing it with this kind of guitar as well, because obviously this harmony guitar's got these gold foil pickups.
Yep.
So this is not a high gain instrument by any stretch of the
no,
imagination.
Definitely not.
Well, and it kind of the fuzz thing works for this because it kind of takes it into that kind of like White Stripe-y kind of garage rock feel as well.
And obviously that 60s kind of movement kind of sound in there, which is where it all came from.
Yeah.
Which is why it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Shall we try and see if it does the metal?
Yes. With this as well? Does this...
Yeah, go on then. Why not? There's only live once, right?
Let's see. This is a world exclusive John Brown with gold foil pickups.
Sounds lovely.
Cool. So I've just gone with everything at midnight for now.
Okay.
So you play a bit and I will move. I've started on clipping mode 1 as well.
Okay.
So.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It works. Who'd have thought?
Again, it's that clarity. You're playing heavy stuff. And I had the gain maxed a few times there.
Really?
And you're still... Turn off to get rid of this.
Yep.
You're still getting all that bite and all the attack out. And I think, obviously, those pickups will have quite a nice bit of bite as well.
I think so, yeah. They'll definitely be more focused on the treble side of things as opposed to, like, modern humbuckers that are constantly just focusing on how beefy can we make it?
Yeah, whereas these are crisp.
Crystal clear. It actually sounds absolutely awesome. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, it sounds really good for metal playing as well.
Weird.
Maybe there's a new market for harmony guitars in the metal world, in Dadgad, through a Tone King Sky King. You are literally rewriting the rulebook.
I'm rewriting history right now.
You've got a clean amp, a 60-star guitar, and a distortion pedal.
It's quite a weird combination. It actually sounds metal as fuck.
It works, yeah. It works really well.
Should we try that pedal in front of an already distorted signal?
Yes.
Okay, right. So if you press number 5 on the AMPETE switcher and then press amp 1.
How do I use this thing?
5.
Just press 5.
And then the amp 1. It says amp 1 up top left.
Amp 1.
And then we should be on. I just need to turn the amp up, so. That sounds wicked.
That's with the pedal off.
Yeah, it sounds wicked. Like, what's going on?
What happens now if we...
Okay, yeah. And I think with this as well, using the blend knob to blend between the channel and the pedal is going to make a really cool difference. So let's have a... Noisy amp. It wouldn't need a noise gate. However, when you were playing around with the knobs and the clarity just started coming back in, it was pretty amazing.
I was sort of doing quite extreme settings. I was going with the gain pretty high and just doing like extreme blends from fully in to fully out.
Yep.
So you could hear the difference. So you were getting a bit more low end tightness from the pedal I was hearing.
Yep.
And then when the amp was kind of giving the attack, and then this was just sort of refining the tone a bit more.
It did sound wicked.
Yeah, sounded really good.
Yeah, it had like that the real definition of a guitar tone that's required for playing, you know, filthy, dirty metal.
The pedal itself, obviously, because you're going into the Red 7, it didn't really add much gain.
No.
We could have probably boosted the volume a bit more.
Yep.
It didn't add gain as such, but it just changed the sort of the spectrum of what you were playing.
Exactly, and that's kind of what happens with a lot of boost pedals for metal. We don't really use the gain control. It's more the volume to sort of push the amp to its absolute limits, and then a little bit of tone shaping.
Yeah.
But having that blend knob is a really cool feature that I've said in previous videos should be introduced on more distortion and overdrive pedals, because it just gives you so much range of sounds, even just on and off. It's would be great, you know, like or like 50%, 100%. A switch that does that, and that would be amazing.
I think it's so useful because if you've got an amp that you really love the sound of, or even other pedals, like I stack overdrives a lot, and one of my favorite overdrives has a blend function.
Okay.
So I put whatever I want before it, and then I can have characteristics of that with the item with the blend.
Yeah.
And then set it 50-50, and you get sort of two signals in one then.
It's kind of like you're getting two different flavors of distortion, which then creates an overall really complex, harmonically rich sort of I guess distortion or overdrive or whatever it is you want to create. Yeah,
and it works the same with the amp then.
That's the best kind of overdrives. That's what we're all doing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's why we stack overdrives. So if you can control the amount of stack, it's even more potential.
Yeah. Well, that pedal rules. He thinks so because it worked with his sound. I think so because it worked with my sound. The ERAS by WALRUS Audio. 5 different modes: blend function, gain, volume, 2-band EQ. And the modes, did you cycle through the modes as well?
Yeah, I was flicking through the modes as well as we were going.
LED clipping, diode clipping, so many options, sounds great, works for everything. Works from when apparently music stopped with Poison.
Yep.
According to Leigh last night.
I'm glad you remembered that, because I forgot I said that.
All the way up to the filthy metal that I produced. So again, special thanks to Henning Pauly for putting on this absolutely amazing event that is 42 Gear Street, where 40 to 50 of us invade his house and completely piss him off. But he does it for the love of all of it.
He does. He loves it.
So yeah, thank you very much, Henning Pauly, for doing this amazing event. Thank you to all the staff as well that have made this event happen, such as the video switchers, the organisers of travel, through to the schedule planning from Mikhail. Thank you very much. We all appreciate it.
Sheila is the man.
Sheila is the man.
Gear Street couldn't happen without him.
No, they couldn't. So yeah, thanks again to everyone at Gear Street. Thank you to Leigh for being included in this video and showing me his amazing chop. And yeah, well, let me know what you think of the pedal in the comments, and there'll be a link so that you can purchase it and check it out for yourself. The Walrus Audio ERAS. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you next time.